What is up, fam? Welcome back to my channel. I want to talk today about gateways. I hear people say all the time that things like caffeine, cannabis, and alcohol are gateways, and I think that is a bunch of bullshit. I personally believe that the real gateways are trauma, abuse, neglect, and sexual molestation. Things like this are the real gateways. They manifest into addiction, violent behavior, self-harm. They all stem from something traumatic that occurred in our past, most likely from childhood. We think about trauma and we think the extreme, like sexual molestation. However, it can be something like being raised in a toxic household where your parents were constantly arguing or your parents were stressed and depressed. A trauma is anything that our bodies and our mind can't fully process. It is often something that we all feel at one point or another. We all go through at one point or another some form of trauma. We need to understand that addiction is not a choice. Addiction is not an inherited disease. Addiction is a physiological and a psychological response to a past trauma. This is our way of numbing ourselves, our way of distracting ourselves. Addiction is the manifestation in which any behavior causes or brings temporary relief or pleasure, yet causes long-term negative consequences in which we have a hard time stopping whatever this behavior is. I think we can all agree that we all have had some form, or many people have had some form of an addiction. If we can all put our egos aside, it doesn't have to be a drug addiction. It can be something like a successful workaholic or somebody who is constantly in the gym, shopping, gambling, things that cause or that bring temporary relief or that we look for temporary pleasure in or look to get outside of ourselves or stop us from facing how we're really feeling. We need to look at addiction and self-harm and all of these things in such a different light. Going to a 30-day rehab is not always going to cut it. We need to really get down to the trauma, get down to what has caused us to want to get outside of ourselves. I believe we are really looking at things wrong. We need to realize that trauma does not just manifest in self-harm or addiction. It actually is stored into our bodies physically. It causes long-term effects like disease and cancer. We really need to approach this in a different way, and I hope to be somebody that can change our mentality and how we look at these different things. The gateways are our traumas. It is not these different kinds of substances that are the gateways. I love you guys. God bless.